You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Today, experts say now is the time to look for a job.
Hey, we don't have to put up with the fog. That's a first this week. You know what we do have to put up with? The heat headed into the weekend. All the latest in the Skywatch weather.
Also, how one college football player kicked off a campaign to raise money for cancer research. All that and more coming up.
State's most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. One of three suspects in a Barton County, Missouri murder pleads guilty. Yesterday, Lane Bronson pleaded guilty for his role in the 2020 murder of Terry Harless in Lamar. Two other suspects in the case are charged with second-degree murder. Investigators say the men are responsible for the shooting death of Harless. The three suspects are also charged in connection with an Oklahoma murder case. You can read more about that on our website at koamnewsnow.com. A four-state job recruiter says this is one of the best times ever to find a decent paying job. In our latest Making It Work report, the team at Joplin's Express Employment says people who are willing to work hold all the cards right now. The employment agency's business development representative says several companies they work with had pay rates around $11 an hour pre-pandemic. But as of now, general labor in the four-state area is paying closer to $14 an hour. And those who want to work are getting scooped up quickly.
There's a lot of places right now you can just walk in and get hired. I mean, not even just with us. I mean, there's plenty of businesses out there that if you walk in and you say, I'm ready to work, they'll hire you. I mean, you can walk in here and within an hour, I mean, we'll have jobs ready for you.
Up in our next half hour, you'll hear from an employer in Galena who's found success by offering competitive wages. Beginning in January of 2022, anyone who sells more than $600 worth of goods through an online auction site or rivals like Etsy or Facebook Marketplace will receive a 1099-K form detailing the transactions for the IRS. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky talks to some folks who will be impacted by the change and explains about how it will all work. That's going to be coming up in our next half hour. We'll have that here in a little bit. Well, dyslexia makes it harder for millions of people in the U.S. to read and write. During the month of October, Pitt State's Center for Research, Evaluation, and Awareness of Dyslexia, or reading, is raising awareness of the learning disorder. The center plans to do giveaways and a fundraising and awareness drive, primarily through social media.
We're in the middle of, we're at the beginning of Dyslexia Awareness Month, and our center is working on a fundraising and awareness campaign to bring awareness to dyslexia, reading disabilities, and we also do a lot with attentional disabilities like ADHD.
Center's giveaways will include books and full evaluations. Folks in Joplin will have a chance to learn some of the city's history. The Dream Theater Company is hosting historic ghost tours. Company says the tours feature interactive and theatrical exhibits about the history and true crime of the area.
The goal for historic ghost tours is to increase the interest in preservation in our local history, and so we find that by doing that we can kind of lean in on the things they wouldn't teach you about in history school, but are the more macabre and interesting things to kind of get a new market interested in our community.
The tours will be every Friday and Saturday for the next few weeks, as well as October 21st for Third Thursday. Well, U.S. soldier who had been deployed and hadn't seen his family since Thanksgiving last year surprised his daughters with his return on Wednesday. First Lieutenant Dustin Fergan walked into the girls' assembly at their elementary school in Olathe, Kansas. It was all hugs and smiles for the reunited family. Fergan says it was everything he could ask for. He serves as an intelligence officer in the 130th Field Artillery Unit. He'll now be stationed in Manhattan, Kansas, a lot closer to home. The family says they have vacations planned to make up for lost time.
That's awesome.
I love these.
That is so
reuniting
perfect.
Stories are awesome.
I've never had one of those that didn't put one of those reunification stories that didn't put a smile on my face. Hey, we got a couple of our local four-state heroes that'll be making their way home. They're going to end up in Fort Gibson in Georgia here in the next week or two.
Okay.
Yeah. Then, yeah.
Any more details?
Not the, like, no. That's what I'm allowed to say.
Okay. All right. No names. It's a secret.
Right. Well, I mean, their families know they're coming back, but no, it'd be good to get them back. Good to get them back home. That's the important part. All right, Daily Almanac for this October the 8th with the record high dating back to 1979. Now it's going to be hot, but probably not that hot. Gorgeous sight outside of Television City right there. We just had a little cloud cover move in earlier this morning in from the south. All right, now we got just about everybody in the 60s. We'll wait on you, Cassville, still sitting at 58, but now we've got Miami and Anderson that are up to 61 and 63 respectively. It's been warmer out in southeast Kansas the entire morning, 67 in Parsons, and Carthage already bumping up to 65 as well. There's that cloud cover. There's no precipitation with it. That's a nice thing. We're dry. We don't have to worry about any fog. What a welcome relief that is. So we've got the high pressure kind of riding the Midwest right now, blocking everything. What we will have is that one in the far left-hand corner make its way toward us by the time we get to Sunday. The massive flooding from Alabama has now moved through portions of Georgia and into South Carolina. 15 inches of rain in a day and a half in Alabama, causing flash flooding, resulting in 4 deaths. Our weather trend, we get sunshine. We don't have any severe weather concerns until Sunday night, as a matter of fact. Just have to remember that it's going to be hot, not only for today, but also on Saturday as well. That cloud cover that rolls through there, it kind of kicks out, and so we'll be back into the 90s Saturday afternoon. Sunday, on the left-hand side of your screen, in from the west-southwest, here comes the rain, and not only thunder and lightning, but also, too, when the severe thunderstorm risk map, yeah, we're popping up there in the low and elevated categories the farther south that you go. So, need everybody to be apprised of that because it'll be here for us Sunday night.
Keep an eye on that for sure.
Cooler temps on the backside. Seasonable October weather through the middle of next week, but you also notice the rain chances persist for Tuesday and Wednesday.
Sorry, I got in there on the pause.
No, I
My bad.
appreciate it. I think you should just, I like it. I enjoy it when I'm doing weather and you throw your 2 cents in. I'm serious.
It shows I'm paying attention.
I know, that's what I'm serious about.
Yeah.
Next time I show that low pressure up by the Pacific Northwest, like I would love it if you were just like, who cares, Michael? It's 1,000 miles away. I'm gonna be like, whoa, Tanya, watch this.
Okay, just wait. All right, up next, flu season is almost here, but many Americans say they're not getting a flu shot. And later, how technology solved a 50-year-old cold case. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Flu season is here, but a new survey shows many Americans do not plan on getting the flu shot. Naomi Ruckham explains how health experts are hoping to change minds.
With COVID-19 still infecting people across the country, medical experts are warning about the next wave of illness from the flu.
Flu will come back this year. There's no doubt about it. Mild, moderate, or severe, we will have flu.
And as health leaders urge the public to start getting flu shots, a new survey from the National Foundation of Infectious Diseases shows many Americans won't. 61% of those surveyed believe the flu shot offers the best protection against severe illness. 44% say they are either unsure or won't get the vaccine. And they cite reasons like not believing the flu shot works very well, concern about possible side effects, or say they never get the flu.
For both flu and COVID-19, vaccination is critically important to protect ourselves, our families, and our communities.
For those who still haven't been immunized against the coronavirus, health experts now say it's safe to get both your flu shot and COVID vaccine on the same day.
And though doctors are warning this could be a challenging flu season, they see the pandemic changing personal habits for the better.
There are many people now who, when they encounter influenza in their communities, will put back on their masks. They know how to use those. They'll do a little bit more social distancing.
Leaving many Americans more prepared for this flu season as long as they get the shot. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
Health experts say for the best protection, get your flu shot by the end of the month. They also stress that pregnant women should be vaccinated to protect themselves and their families. Lego is releasing a 53-inch replica of the Titanic. The company says it's accurate with detailed inner rooms, and it's got more than 9,000 pieces and a Titanic price tag to match. The Lego set to build the ship cost about $630. Yikes. I wonder if it easily breaks in half.
A lot of pieces to step on. We got breaking news coming out of Afghanistan where a Taliban police official is confirming that more than 100 people are dead or injured after a bombing of a Shiite mosque. Once again, this breaking out of Afghanistan. This would be the largest attack by militants since the United States and NATO forces left in August. No group has claimed responsibility, but once again, the bombing of a Shiite mosque this morning in Afghanistan, resulting in at least 100 people killed and or injured. As that is updated, we will bring you the latest right here on the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. A live look over 7th and Rangeline and what's turning out to be a very nice 4-state start. 65 degrees is where we stand, with temperatures ranging anywhere from high 50s, still a 58 in Cassville, up to 67 in Parsons, and a whole bunch of 65s throughout southwest Missouri. A Skywatch storm tracker with just a little light cloud cover. Hot today, elevated fire concerns, and hot tomorrow. Sunday, temperatures back off a little bit Sunday night into Monday. Thunderstorm activity that will include heavy rains, high winds, and even the possibility of hail. We'll be back with more KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 right after this.
A 50-year-old cold case murder of an Iowa teenager is closed now, thanks to DNA technology. Cedar Rapids Police Department says it knows who killed the 17-year-old in 1971. Libby Randall spoke with the victim's family.
We're just relieved it's all over.
Maureen Brubaker Farley was reported missing on September 20th, 1971. 4 days later, teenagers out hunting found her body in the trunk of an abandoned car where Tate Cummins Park now is. Investigators say Brubaker Farley had been sexually assaulted and died from a skull fracture. Detectives worked the case for 50 years.
And it wasn't until about 2005 when Detective Larison sent some of our evidence back into the lab to have it processed that we were able to get a breakthrough, which was a DNA profile.
Then last month, a break for investigators as they got DNA match from a relative of a suspect. That led them to George Smith, an acquaintance of Brubaker Farley from the diner where she worked. Her mother says the feelings that come with this closure are overwhelming.
This new DNA that they've got now proved it. So I'm just so happy for this new DNA that they can go back 50 years and prove it.
Smith died in 2013 at age 94, so there will be no charges, but the case is finally closed.
It's still pretty new and still pretty fresh, the news and the information. So I don't know if we'll sleep any better or anything, but I just keep saying thank you.
Lead investigator Matt Denlinger says they credit a big part of this discovery to the advances in DNA technology and the generations of officers who have been committed to this case for 5 decades.
But this morning was especially rewarding to call them and let them know that it's over, that they have an answer, and although it's not the answer they were probably looking for, they were still extremely appreciative.
Well, at the time of the murder, investigators collected evidence and conducted interviews, but they didn't have enough proof to charge anyone. We'll be right back with today's 4-state hero. It's time to honor today's 4-state hero, Brian Nuding, who served in the U.S. Army since 2001 and has been stationed in both Iraq and Afghanistan. His hometown, Sheldon, Missouri. We are proud to salute Brian Nuding, our 4-state hero. Well, kickers on a football team are either celebrated or booed. There really is no in between. We know this. It's one of the toughest, most precise positions on a team with all eyes on you. Each kick at Westfield High School football games mean a bit more this season. Each point tallied turns into dollars going towards cancer research. Justin Kohler spoke with the Shamrocks kicker with more on how he is helping to kick cancer out of his community.
How often is the outcome of a game determined by a last-second field goal? You've got to be reliable to be the kicker. That's why Caleb King is putting his leg where his heart is this season.
Watch outside! This is nothing about me. It's all for just helping those in need. And if you have a gift, use it.
Caleb King's gift is wrapped, laces out.
Now, obviously, kicking a football, I tend to be pretty good at that, which is, just try to use every little thing for good.
The 18-year-old Shamrock senior is turning each kick into cancer research.
So every point is whatever they pledged as their dollar amount.
So far, he's helped raise more than $2,000 kicking.
Cancer is one of those things that when everyone thinks about it, they automatically assume death. They think the worst, and I just want to get to the point where we can just say that that's just another getting strep throat or something like that, just something that we can move past and everyone can live happy and a fulfilled, healthy life.
Coach Jake Gilbert says Caleb's desire to help others has made him invaluable to this team turned family.
He's a great football player, but he's an amazing kid. And he's taken tremendous initiative to try to raise money to make a difference.
Let's go! A cause and a figure for the team to rally behind.
As a program, we are rallying behind all the kids we've had and the parents we've had who have fought cancer. So putting that to practice by raising money through Caleb's efforts, that's a great opportunity for us.
Accounting for 32 points so far this season, it's an opportunity Caleb can't wait to take a swing at.
Just go out there and just try to do your best for the community, because a lot of bad stuff going on in the world, and if you can add a little sunshine to it, why not?
If you'd like to make a pledge to Caleb's cause or a one-time donation, we've got the information you need on our website. And if you're wondering, Westfield High School is in Indiana. Every dollar raised will go to Alex's Lemonade Stand, a foundation fighting for childhood cancer. Another half hour of news and weather is just ahead. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14, some of your favorite cartoon characters do battle in one of your favorite video games. And Tesla becomes the latest company to move out of California. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We'll be right back.
4 States' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:27. Let's take a look at today's top stories. Starting next January, anyone selling more than $600 worth of goods through services like eBay and Etsy will have to fill out a form to the IRS. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky spoke with a Joplin tax expert who explains what this means for local online business owners.
For anyone that uses websites like eBay, Etsy, or Facebook Marketplace, you may need to start filling out a new form to the IRS if you haven't already.
When you're in business to sell things online, you need to be filing the proper tax documents to show your income and all your expenses that your business has incurred.
That document is a 1099-K form, although it's nothing new.
We've seen 1099-Ks for years, but what it is it reports whenever somebody's using online sales. We'll get a 1099-K reporting the income or reporting their sales to assure that they are reporting them on their income tax return.
What is new, though, is the prerequisite for those who need to fill one out.
I think they're doing a lot more requirements maybe now as they did in the past, as far as filling out the proper W-9 forms and things like that. So they're just realizing it, or maybe their sales weren't to the point that they were required to get one, which is $600.
Tax experts emphasize that for those with an online business, keeping track of your money is extremely important.
You need to be filing the proper tax documents to show your income and all your expenses that your business has incurred.
They also remind these online business owners that the IRS cracking down on these sellers is actually to their benefit.
To assist these small businesses, and because sometimes people's accounting methods aren't quite, they haven't learned properly how to keep track of their income and their expenses. So a lot of times people say, oh, I got this 1099-K. Well, yeah, there's your sales.
In the end, these forms help smaller businesses stay on top of their sales. In Joplin, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
Joplin tax experts are already seeing calls regarding news about the form and say the responsibility of sending out these forms falls on the companies the sellers use rather than the seller themselves. One of 3 suspects in a Barton County, Missouri murder pleads guilty. Yesterday, Lane Bronson pleaded guilty for his role in the 2020 murder of Terry Harless in Lamar. 2 other suspects in the case are charged with second-degree murder. Investigators say the men are responsible for the shooting death of Harless. The 3 suspects are also charged in connection with an Oklahoma murder case. You can read more about that on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. A Joplin job recruiter says 4 state employers are still clamoring for new hires, and those actively looking for work hold all the cards right now. KOAM's Mike Mahoney spoke to the team at Employment Express and a local company that's hiring to learn what's getting 4-staters back to work.
There's no shortage of now hiring signs throughout the 4-state area, but that doesn't mean local companies are having an easy time filling positions.
They are trying to hire people on their own, and when they do drug screens and get those completed and then the employees don't show up to work the next day, they realize they're spending that money and then those people don't show up, and so they're at a loss.
The team at Joplin's Express Employment Professionals says companies' desperation for employees has translated into one of the best situations ever for those who want to work.
If you are looking for work right now, you are in the best time because you have all the cards. If you are looking for something with the highest pay, this is when you're going to get it.
Competitive pay has been a recipe for success for Galena's Oasis Car Wash Systems, and it's helped them fill up most of their open assembly positions.
Perfect opportunity for them to come in, especially the young ones, and learn a trade. And the pay is right now, it's probably some of the best I've ever seen.
Both Oasis Car Wash Systems and Express Employment Professionals say they see more people looking for work after Missouri opted out of the federal COVID-19 unemployment benefits. But that still hasn't cooled off the red-hot job market.
There's a lot of places right now you can just walk in and get hired. I mean, not even just with us. I mean, there's plenty of businesses out there that if you walk in and you say, I'm ready to work, they'll hire you. I mean, you can walk in here and within an hour, I mean, we'll have jobs ready for you.
In Joplin and Galena, Mike Mahoney, KOAM News.
The team at Employment Express Professionals also says several companies they work with had pay rates around $11 an hour pre-pandemic. But as of now, general labor in the 4-state area is paying closer to $14 an hour. Freeman Health System in Joplin hosted a hiring fair yesterday, looking to gain some new employees. Officials were offering interviews for full-time and part-time positions. Some of those positions were clinical, like medical assistants, nurses, and physical therapists, and some were non-clinical, admissions, receptionists, and housekeepers.
We have anything ranging from a pharmacy technician, admissions, patient accounts, PRC, which is our physician reimbursement billing. We have nutrition positions. We have a full gamut of positions that run the full length of Freeman, again, clinical and non-clinical.
Entry-level positions at Freeman start at $15 an hour. Dyslexia makes it harder for millions of people in the U.S. to read and write. During the month of October, Pitt State's Center for Research, Evaluation, and Awareness of Dyslexia, or reading, is raising awareness of the learning disorder. The center plans to do giveaways and a fundraising and awareness drive primarily through social media.
We're in the middle of, well, we're at the beginning of Dyslexia Awareness Month, and our center is working on a fundraising and awareness campaign to bring awareness to dyslexia, reading disabilities, and we also do a lot with attentional disabilities like ADHD.
The center's giveaways will include books and full evaluations. October is National Arts and Humanities Month, and yesterday the city of Joplin celebrated with the first Thursday Art Walk. At the Art Walk, Joplin Mayor Ryan Stanley proclaimed the month Arts and Humanities Month annually for Joplin. As usual, the Art Walk also featured plenty of art, food, and fun. Carthage Water and Electric Plant continues its Public Power Week celebrations, this time with a Glow Golf event. Public Power Week is a chance for utility companies to better engage with their communities. The plant hosted the 4-hole Glow Golf event at the Carthage Golf Course. There were also food trucks, games, and giveaways.
What I love about things like this is making the kids happy. I love to see the smiles on the faces of the kids, and anytime you give a kid a glow-in-the-dark anything and balloons, they're smiling.
That's true. Earlier this week, the plant hosted tours of its facility, and today they will host a food truck event. Well, folks in Joplin will have a chance to learn some of the city's history. The Dream Theater Company is hosting historic ghost tours. Company says the tours feature interactive and theatrical exhibits about the history and true crime of the area.
The goal for historic ghost tours is to increase the interest in preservation in our local history, and so we find that by doing that, we can kind of lean in on the things they wouldn't teach you about in history school, but are the more macabre and interesting things to kind of get a new market interested in our community.
The tours will be every Friday and Saturday for the next few weeks, as well as October 21st for Third Thursday. The U.S. Mint has announced the full list of 5 pioneering American women who will be immortalized on American currency. In the first run of the American Women Quarters program, images of the women will appear on the backs of select quarters beginning in 2022. They represent a wide array of professions from which women were previously shut out. Sally Ride, an astronaut who was the first American woman in space, and poet and civil rights activist Maya Angelou were selected earlier this year. Asian American actress Anna Mae Wong, Cherokee Nation leader Wilma Mankiller, and suffragist and politician Nina Atara Warren will join Ride and Angelou being featured on the coins. This Mint program will continue until 2025, honoring 5 women with 5 quarters each year. That's cool.
Can you name the list again?
Yes, I will.
Mine ears deceive me.
Okay, so you have Sally Ride.
Of course.
Maya Angelou. The actress Anna Mae Wong.
Okay.
And Cherokee Nation leader Wilma Mankiller. And then, of course, Nina Atara.
You know she's from here,
Warren.
right?
Yeah.
She's from Tahlequah. I'll be darned. How cool is that?
Representing. There we go.
That's pretty cool right there. Cherokee Nation pride. That is really cool. All right. 7th and Rangeline, it's a glorious start. Thank goodness the humidity is so low. We don't have to tackle any fog today. Down to 78%. Love that. Temperatures have been absolutely perfect. Everybody out of the 50s. And now we're already pushing up into mid to high 60s. Look at those 67s running in Parsons and Oswego. Lamar sits at 65. Miami, that was down at 58 earlier, already up to 65 as well. Here's that light cloud cover that worked in from the south. No rain with it, though. Now, when we talk about high and low pressure systems, we got the high running in just to the west of us. Going to give us blue sky. And see that low up there, top left-hand corner of your screen? This thing is going to try to jump the Rockies. Not going to try, it's going to do it. It's going to work its way toward us, jump the Rockies over the weekend, and present us with thunderstorm activity for Sunday night into Monday. Now, on the right-hand portion of your screen, that low out there, that's going to cause flooding throughout the Carolinas and Georgia. At least Alabama gets a break coming off of their fatal flash flooding. There were 4 people dying in Alabama with 15 inches of rain and flash flooding in just a day and a half. We have an afternoon planner with temperatures that'll be up into the high 80s. We'll see a 90 every now and then today. And it's also going to be a little bit blustery, as shown with the high school football forecast. You kickers and you quarterbacks know that it's going to come in about 25 miles per hour when it does gust at its highest. Future track with a hot Friday, hot Saturday, and then let's get to Sunday, because on the left-hand side of your screen, moving out of the west-southwest, we're going to develop heavy rainfall, thunder, lightning, and even the possibility of some high winds and hail as we show up in the low category on the severe thunderstorm risk map. Rain chances persist through the middle of next week, but temperatures pretty seasonable as we drop back down into the 70s and 80s. We'll be back with more KOM Morning News on Fox 14 right after this. New video game pits some of your favorite Nickelodeon cartoon characters against each other in a comedic battle royal. Our man Rick Damigella with the story.
If you've ever wondered who would win in a fight between cartoon characters, it's really down to the players of Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl.
3, 2, 1, brawl!
This is a fighting game with 20 iconic Nickelodeon characters in a big brawl together. 2 to 4 players, online or locally. It's a platform fighter, which means that the objective is to knock the opponent out of the ring. We have SpongeBob, we have the Turtles, we have the Loud House characters, Zim is there, Danny Phantom is there. We definitely draw inspiration from directly from the shows. A lot of references, a lot of Easter eggs, a lot of hidden characters in the background sometimes.
The Brawler not only has unusual matchups, but an unusual origin.
Someone from Nickelodeon reached out to us on our Discord, and I thought it was spam or something, and I ignored it for a week. I didn't believe it.
Leveling up in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
All right, the Brawl out now for Nintendo Switch, Windows, along with current next-gen Xbox and PlayStation consoles. Is Zuckerberg just on me today or what? The second time I've tried to go to Facebook and the screen just went, Mark, it's not my fault, man. Or something to talk about on the KOM News Now Facebook page that obviously I'm having trouble accessing. And our Insta poll, komnewsnow.com/vote. Take it right there. Asking what you're doing this weekend. 63% of you say you're staying home. 18% got events planned. 5% of you, hey, have some fun with your fam. And 14%, I hope you either get a day off today or sometime early next week. We'll be back with more KOM Morning News on Fox 14 right after this.
Tesla became the latest company to announce it was moving its headquarters out of California. But the automaker isn't completely done with the Golden State. In fact, it plans to increase production in its manufacturing plant in Fremont. Juliette Goodrich has more on the latest Silicon Valley company to pack its bags.
So what is the driving force behind Tesla packing up its Palo Alto headquarters and heading out of state? Well, one thing's for sure, the decision is certainly adding more charge to the mass exodus of companies leaving the Golden State. Applause after Tesla's CEO Elon Musk announced the company's moving to Texas at its annual shareholder meeting.
Moving to Texas? Yeah, not surprising.
Some Bay Area residents saw it coming full speed ahead. After all, Musk threatened to move the company out of Fremont last year because of Alameda County's COVID restrictions.
I don't think that changes big picture wise, right? He started the revolution on electric cars, right? I think that momentum is going to stay.
Musk insists moving the company headquarters does not mean the car maker is leaving California. The Tesla manufacturing plant in Fremont is staying parked and production will continue.
Our intention is to actually increase output from Fremont and from Giga Nevada by 50%.
But today, the Bay Area Council, which represents hundreds of large employers, expressed concern over the move and the region's ongoing housing affordability crisis. Tesla joins other Silicon Valley companies that have recently moved headquarters to Texas.
This isn't the first time, but I would say anytime a large business moves, it is should be a moment for reconsideration of what are we doing? Can we do better to keep these companies in California?
It definitely concerns me a little bit that they're moving out, and you know, the economy, the housing situations might change here.
Musk said Tesla does plan to expand in California, but that the company's ability to scale up there is limited. Consumers are opting out of store credit cards. According to LendingTree, only 29% of households say they're likely to apply for a store credit card this holiday season. That's down from 44% last year. And only a third of people with a store credit card say they have debt currently on it, down from nearly half last year. According to a new OnePoll survey, more than 60% of workers polled in the UK say they work more efficiently out of the office. Employees say it's okay to log on from just about anywhere or in anything. Pajamas in the bathroom, even in another country. Now, once the camera is on, virtual backgrounds and Zoom bombings by child or pet are okay too. We'll be right back with more after this, but first, let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Justin Bieber collaborating with an Oscar winner and a Marvel fan favorite making her return. Can we give this guy a break? Rick Damigella's got our Hollywood Minute as well.
Justin Bieber has a surprising new co-star, Diane Keaton. The Oscar-winning actress appears in the singer's new music video for the song Ghosts. The unlikely duo are seen drinking, dancing, and sharing hugs in the clip, which is released in full on Friday.
Who's been messing up everything? It's been Agatha all along.
Agatha returns. Variety reports that Catherine Hahn's scene-stealing WandaVision character is set to return for a spin-off series. Sources tell the outlet that the new show will be a dark comedy and is in development for streaming platform Disney+.
Thought I was wasting time, but I wasn't. I was searching.
Rising singer Grace Gosted is spotlighting youth mental health issues. Her new film, Black Box, What Are You Hiding?, connects her recent music videos with other footage to chronicle her experiences with trauma, therapy, and self-acceptance. The film is executive produced by Gosted's mentor, Mariska Hargitay, and debuts on Gosted's YouTube channel on World Mental Health Day, Friday. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
All right, somebody give Rick Damigella a break. That's two stories he did for us this morning. Live look outside the television city. Look at that. Hello, Glow Cloud. It is good to see you, my friend. Do indeed miss you. Skywatch storm tracker. High today of 93 dates back to 1979. Now, we're going to get close to some records here today and tomorrow, but we're going to need 94 today and 93 tomorrow to break those records. I don't think we're quite going to make it that high a Joplin Regional Airport, at least. Chinook's got to get up to 94 and 95, respectively. There we are over 7th and Range Line. Very nice start, 65 degrees. The big factor this morning is that low humidity. And when you go, 78's not low. Well, it's a whole lot better than the 97 and 96% that we had earlier this week that resulted in all that fog, as our temperatures have now all moved into the 60s, not a 50 left on the board. Skywatch storm tracker, there's that cloud cover that resulted in the wonderful colors of the sunrise. When we talk about the high pressure system hanging off to our west, we're also going to concentrate on the one that's in the Pacific Northwest right now, because it's going to jump the Rocky Mountains and head our way for Sunday night into Monday. Now, on the right-hand portion of your screen, you see that other red L down there. That is that tropical system that never did become a named storm, but now is going to cause massive flooding concerns along the deep south and the mid-Atlantic, as a jet stream will force it all the way up the coastline. This coming off of the flash flooding in Alabama that resulted in 4 deaths with 15 inches of rain in the span of a day and a half. This afternoon we'll be up around 90 degrees with plenty of sunshine. It is going to be a little bit blustery, gusting south at 25 miles per hour in time for the high school football kickoff forecast. Any traveling you have to do, it is clean and clear. Clean and clear on Friday, clean, clear, and hot on Saturday, as we'll throw up the 90s. So let's go ahead and jump into Sunday evening, because that's when the rain formulates to our west. Comes in from the south, southwest, heavy rain, thunder, lightning. The whole 9, even the possibility of some high winds and hail, because when we zoom in on the severe thunderstorm risk map, you will notice that low category, we got the about, I don't want to say half, but at least a third of the 4 states in there down to the south. Hopefully we can keep that elevated. Hopefully we can watch it shrink here, our next update. And then we get cooler temperatures, more seasonable there on the backside, 70s and 80s for next week. Just going to be wet as well. We'll be back, wrap up this edition of the KOM Morning News on Fox 14 right after this.
Morning News on Fox 14. Here's what's happening today. The Senate approves legislation to temporarily raise the debt ceiling. The measure increases the federal debt limit through December 3rd. The legislation will now head to the House for approval there. Pfizer asked the FDA for an emergency use authorization for its COVID-19 vaccine to use in children ages 5 to 11. CBS News has learned a CDC advisory panel will consider whether to recommend the vaccine for that age group the week of November 1st. The vaccine would be a mini dose. Pfizer says its study found no serious side effects in children. President Biden traveled to Illinois yesterday as part of his vaccine push. He says a vaccine mandate is coming shortly for businesses with more than 100 workers. He toured a construction site in the Chicago area that has implemented measures to get more employees vaccinated. Let's check in with Michael with a final look at your forecast.
Football kickoff forecast tonight. Temperatures going to be absolutely pristine, yet a little bit warm perhaps. No travel concerns. Hot on Saturday. Thunderstorm activity Sunday night into Monday. My bad. Thought we had something about pierogies. Me too. Roxanne Dunikowski was like a second mother to me when I was growing up. She Polish woman. And would make me homemade pierogies, and I had never had one in my life, and then I just became, I'm straight addicted to pierogies.
Do you remember when our former morning show producer Gus Bernetti brought his grandmother on to make pierogies with us?
Yes.
Yes.
Shout out to Roxanne. Thank you for letting us put the good in your morning. Back with more news and weather when we see you at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better day.